911 emergency, what are you reporting?
Everybody, welcome back to another great episode of We Speak Dispatch. We're speaking dispatch. We're talking to you. Hey, psst, you. We're talking right to you right now. So if you're listening to us, please tell some friends and say, hey, I was listening to this great podcast, and they said these guys sound great over there. I mean, some of us do, some of us don't. But anyway, so today we're joined by our usual suspects. We got Joe over there. How's it going, Joe?
Amazing here today. Absolutely beautiful.
And you got your Wyoming representation shirt. I'm not sure what that's about, but there you go. So
it's when I went to Grand Teton National Park. I was in Wyoming and absolutely loved it there.
Man, that's good. That's good stuff. And Leslie down there in the bottom box down there. Leslie, how's it going in your part of the world?
Excellent here on the West Coast. Wyoming is actually one of 6 states I haven't visited yet. So
Really?
Joe, the next time you go, I want to tag along because
Yes.
you have posted some amazing pictures. I want to be a part of that.
It does look beautiful. It does look very beautiful. I went there once and it was neat. So didn't really get out of the hotel, but anyway, and our special guest today joining us is Roger. Roger, hello. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am Roger. I'm from Middle Missouri, which is right in the middle of everything. So right in the middle of heat right at this moment. I think we're experiencing 102 today.
Oh my gosh, that's hot. Well,
I have been working with Missouri State Highway Patrol for the last 21 plus years, which is a long time. Most recently as their training coordinator. I'm the only state training coordinator for Missouri. It sounds like really fancy. I'm the state training coordinator for communications, which sounds really fancy, but there's just one of me.
it sounds great though. Wow.
It is. It's kind of a dream job for me. I started in dispatch in 2001 in Poplar Bluff, fairly close to my hometown of 792 people down in the middle of the great state of Missouri. Worked there for a few years before coming up here. It just happened to coincide that I had spent 20 years in the Air Force before that, my first career in the Air Force.
Oh, okay. I was just getting ready to ask you, what'd you do before dispatch, but you were in the military.
Yeah, because I'm too old to have just spent 20 years with the Highway Patrol.
I didn't say that. I'm not saying that. At
God's
all.
honest truth. I spent 20 years in the Air Force. My primary job was a tactical air command and control specialist, which is another fancy title. I went out with the Army. I was Air Force, went out with the Army on the ground and directed aircraft pilots into enemy positions.
Really? Wow.
Friendly forces safe and to destroy enemy forces as best as we could.
Wow.
That was my job for 20 years with the Air Force. But it's a very small career field. There were only 250 of us worldwide at that time. So we filled a lot of hats, of course.
Yeah.
Great. There were my first job was in Fort Bliss. There were 12 of us in the entire unit. I was supply, and I moved into the trainer position when I became an NCO there.
And that's why you're still doing training to this day.
And I'm still doing training today. So I spent probably 17 years training in the Air Force, and it just kind of transferred.
Well, I did see on your Facebook the other day that everybody was congratulating you on being the APCO International 2022 Trainer of the Year. Wow. Yeah. Look at you, fancy man. It's like, wow.
Wow.
More
We have a celebrity in our midst.
Yes, my goodness.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was really great. My boss wrote the submission, and I got the Missouri State Trainer of the Year year, and it went on to APCO International, and I got that as well. Not like I didn't do the work, but writer.
What do you think was the biggest? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying congratulations, but I will ask a question here. What is Missouri's minimum qualifications to be a dispatcher? Every state kind of varies. You're the head trainer in the state. So what's the minimum qualifications to be a dispatcher that they must complete after being hired?
They have to complete 40 hours of basic initial training within the first year of hire. And then we do 24 hours every 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we're required by statute in the state of Missouri right now.
Okay. And does it matter if the 24 hours come in 1 year, since it's a 3-year deal? Just doesn't matter as long as you get 24 in the 3-year span?
Exactly right. We in the patrol, we ordinarily get the 24 in the first year. But you know, you try to parse it out 8 years. When I do my training plan, I create, at least 8 hours of academic training usually each year. We also follow that up with a lot of hands-on technical. We have a lot of technical issues with patrol. We have a lot of technical training with patrol.
And what's one way you relate to everybody? Because in Missouri, it's kind of probably, a little bit similar to Iowa. You guys have a few more bigger cities than we do. But one of the things when a dispatcher goes to the 40-hour class in Iowa that is tough is we got very small agencies where it's one dispatcher and other agencies where they have multiple different coworkers in the same room working the same shift. So how does your material relate to no matter who it is?
That's a good question. Do you guys have one central core training program for everyone in the state of Iowa?
Yeah, they have to do the same thing, a 40-hour course within their first year.
Yes, we have the 40 hours, but in the state of Missouri, by statute, we can set up, an agent can set up their own 40 hours of training. They can nationally recognized course. In fact, I'm writing, in Missouri, we have what we call the Missouri Professional Training Partnership, which I am the co-chair of at this time. And I'm writing a 40-hour course so that we can use it, because most of your nationally provided courses you can't use in a WebEx type environment. You can't teach them virtually. So I'm writing a course for our review that we can provide to everyone. And we try to make it Missouri centric. That's what I'm trying to do now. It's a very, very Missouri specific course, what I'll say and what we have to do. And then each agency, when we go through, we will invite people from that region to help train. So we don't do like one centralized course for the state. We're just hoping to provide regional training in all the various areas. So we get those venues, those jurisdictions, those specifics on each in each agency, basically.
But you're the state police, right?
We are the state police. The partnership is the partnership is made up of Missouri APCO and Missouri Highway Patrol. Those are the two people that started it 15 years ago.
But do you guys also train like the local agencies, like not the state police, but like the sheriff or somebody out there?
I do, on behalf of the partnership.
Wow.
Home courses, and I'm going to a little town called Chillicothe here in a month. I'm going to have 9 students, and we're going to go through the 40-hour course with them. And
wow.
We're moving into technical schools and criminal law enforcement academies around the state, hoping to get offering that as a certification for people either before or after they're hired.
Cool. Leslie, go ahead.
So, I had a question. I raised my hand.
I saw your hand go up and I'm like,
Yes,
okay.
I'm sorry.
So I know that if agencies are using protocols like priority dispatcher, and that's a separate course that everyone has to take in addition to the 40-hour.
Really?
And then is there, you mentioned that these courses, you're going to create something to where they can be presented in an online format. I know there's some different offerings in different states that have something that, like in California, which is where I am, there are community colleges where you can go and a semester class and actually take, in California, it's 120 hours. And you can take that course over a semester, as a night course or something like that, or even, maybe online. One of our local community colleges has decided that course, their dispatch academy, is no longer going to be offered in person. It's only going to be online.
Really?
Which, yeah, and part of me, and I will get to a point that's, eventually, is that, here we are in a world where we are expecting these new employees to interact with people, yet a lot of our training is in a virtual environment. So I'm curious, have you seen challenges with the newer employees coming in that maybe don't have spent the last 2.5, 3 years in a pandemic mode where there's not that social interaction?
Actually, other than continuing education in Missouri, we have not done virtual training. The initial class will be totally new for us. And that is, there are problems with virtual classes. I mean, we all know it as instructors. So I hope to get into the colleges, as California is doing, getting into the colleges and start providing it as a semester worth of work. It's only 40 hours, so it would be less class time. than a full semester course. But I'm hoping to get it in as like an elective to criminal law or other courses they can take to inspire people to realize there's more than just being a cop, or there's more than just being on the beat. They can actually be communications personnel. So my first job was to write, the first job I gave to myself was to write an introductory course to communications, what we do for a living. So I wrote basically a 30 to 40 minute block of instructional, this is what communications does. These are the responsibilities, these are ethics, these are what we look at. Just so we could give it to college students in recruitment to kind of get people enticed into communications.
Right. I'm just curious, why are you guys going virtual? Is it because of COVID still, or?
It's not because we're going virtual. It could be related to COVID. The resources out there are,
Isn't
are so
everything?
minimal. Everybody's so short, they can't send people.
Okay.
I mean, our continuing education training is completely free from the partnership.
Oh, wow.
Come, and so we offer it, but we are continuously saying people cannot come, even though it's free, has no cost to them. And we're doing it in their hometowns or close to their hometown, within an hour of their hometowns. They can't come because they don't have the bodies to come. They have to be on the campus.
Man, that's crazy.
So we're hoping that virtual could solve part of that problem with continuing education. And my hope is that we could do some virtual. Virtual is better than getting nothing.
Right.
Law says you have to do it within the first year, but really there's no hammer on that right now in the state of Missouri. So I'm hoping that we can provide it for those people that just cannot leave the console. Perhaps it's a virtual construct they can do on their own time, but be paid by their agencies, we would hope. So the college thing is to get them certified before they actually get hired, perhaps.
Oh, that'd be something. Wow. Leslie, go ahead. I see your hand again. So go ahead. Yeah. And Joe's hand too. Wow.
Excellent.
Joe, go
All
ahead.
right. Yeah, Joe, you go, because I've already had, but I will follow up. So you go, Joe.
Real simple one. Just out of curiosity, because in Iowa, our law enforcement agency typically hosts 4 of the 40-hour classes a year. And I know you said you go around to different regions in Missouri, but how many times are you teaching that 40-hour in a given year?
Before COVID, we were teaching it about 4 to 6 times a year around the state. After COVID, it was like none for 2 years. We have been, since 2021, we've been giving about 3 courses a year at this point. We are not the only source. The partnership is just one of the sources they can choose from. Both NINA, APCO, Priority Dispatch, all the major providers have online courses they can take. And also those people that get EMD or other certification, fire certifications can get those online as well. We just found that the partnership could probably be helpful in doing this in-house and virtually with the colleges and law enforcement academies around the state.
Awesome. I have a question, and we've had a couple episodes over the course of We Speak Dispatch where we spend some time talking specifically about training for supervisors, managers, and directors. And because that seems to be another big gap, because we really have not, maybe as a profession, done the best at developing our tenured line level people to transition into supervision. And so have you found that there's particular courses or things that you want to provide that you see a need for in your particular state, or really in the profession as a whole?
As a whole, yes. And in the state, what we do is with each course we critique. And of course we send out polls to the region saying, what do you need? And supervisory skills often come in. And we do provide again, Chillicothe, that was the last place I taught, so it keeps coming to my mind. But
it's such a good name.
yeah, it's a cool name, right? We spent 2 days on frontline stuff, which on the frontliners, I'm getting a lot of requests right now for basics because they haven't had basic training. So I'm getting a lot of requests for basic information. So we taught 2 days, 2 8-hour courses on basic information. And then we spent, in the middle, we spent a whole day on supervisory skills. A roundtable to discuss, hey, what are supervisor problems that we're having? What do we see in management? What problems are we having? And then we went on to do some classes on stay interviews and those sort of things that could help supervisors to be better at their job and tying that into communications, public safety communications. for them. And so we do spend quite a bit of time. Each region tries to do continuing education. And again, we're still talking pre-COVID because we're still not quite in the seats as yet. The partnership also offers a virtual course through a very inexpensive platform that we use. And we do try to do at least one supervisory related or command leadership related course every month as well. Because they do come up, people still want that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, and like, so what classes do you specifically teach that you do?
Well, I just taught, I have a 3-hour active shooter class that I teach.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In high demand right now. In fact, I was just asked to do a virtual portion so they could show it to everyone. So I'm going to tape myself doing it for a class. I'm doing it live in, it's not Chillicothe this time. I'm going to Perryville. Another cool name, Perryville, Missouri in a few weeks. And I'm going to teach a full day there, and active shooter will be part of that. But I teach customer service, active shooter, all the basic communications, listening skills, all those things.
Yeah.
As well.
Do you guys ever teach anything that has to do with, like, I mean, because you guys have Ferguson, I mean, where
Right.
all that was happening down there, and the university where they're having all the protest stuff like that. Do you guys cover that in that basic 40-hour week training thing?
Haven't decided yet because I haven't got it written, but I do have a 2-hour block on de-escalation and the communication professional's role in de-escalating an incident before the officer arrives on scene.
Yeah.
Things we can do and say to them to make it sure that they have a full understanding and a clear picture of what they're going into, which I stole directly from law enforcement's de-escalation here in Missouri. Post has which I stole.
Why reinvent the wheel?
That's right.
Well, hey, Roger, we're so glad that you could join us today for this little episode. Man, that 20 minutes went quick. Another 20 minutes
like
down
that.
right there. So, man, these are going so quick today. So we definitely appreciate you coming back again. We had to reschedule you because we had a little bit of a problem last time, but we got you back. So, and we got to hear about your APCO's International 2022 Trainer of the Year. So,
Yeah, thanks for the big title. Thanks a lot, Doug.
That's awesome.
we'll just
I'm
make
gonna
sure
have
we
to
cover
do a
that.
tiara or something.
Yes, absolutely.
So I will tell you that we are, this broadcast has gone unbelievably big. Joe, tell us how big we have gone.
Oh, we are on every social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and we're now on TikTok. So make sure you go watch our videos, Roger. And we have almost 14,000 plays in 35 different countries. So we are reaching a lot of emergency dispatchers across the world. And thanks to everybody for listening to us.
Yeah, that is so great. We get so many great people from all over the world. We had that guy from Saudi Arabia and Ireland and Canada and Missouri and same kind of thing. Anyway, so thanks for joining us, Roger. Thanks to Joe and Leslie for that. And everybody, go out and make it a great day. And tell some friends about our little broadcast here. And I guarantee they'll have a good time with it. So until next time, go make it a great day. Thanks for coming.
Hi, this is Courtney, and you've been listening to another great episode of We Speak Dispatch, proudly sponsored by our friends at Zybex.